Hi folks, just an update about the dolls. Anybody that's been following the dolls knows what it is, but for anybody that comes across this video, the Dolls is a film franchise that I'm making. The first movie I made was Psycho Sex Dolls, and then I shot the second movie called The Dolls, which I'm in post-production with. So I just thought I'd give an update. I do little updates on my social, but people can miss them, so I thought I'd do a longer one here. Where I'm at with where it's potentially going to get released and such, and what's my plan for release and such like that. So yeah, I shot the movie back in October and some pickups in December. I had enough to shoot the movie, but I didn't have money for post production, So if I had the money for post production, the film would be finished by March, done and dusted, but I'd be on to the next one. So I don't need money when you don't have the money. And I got myself in a little bit of debt, so the last 6 months really I was getting myself out of that hole, got to do the day job like everybody else. It's no industry budgets that I get. The money to make these was raised in Kickstarter. So you take things in stages. But this will be the last film that I'll make like this in terms of stages. If we get on to the third one, then I won't be, my goal would be to raise the money for the third one for the production and the post-production, so that when I start shooting, then I'm shooting for 10, 14 days and then straight into the post-production for, a couple of months and then release and rinse and repeat and move on from what. I can't work in it like this again. Finishing I can't finish a film, it takes too long. So, and if you're building a franchise of movies, life is short. This is part of a sort of 5-year sort of plan. Know that I'm going to give up the whole franchise after a few years. As I build it, I've got story worlds and spin-offs, almost like a mini Marvel there that will always probably continue for a long time. But I want to get moving with it, so I don't want to fuck about. So I'm in a post-production, and I've had a few hours here and there because I'm mainly my full-time work. Last few weeks I've had more time on it. Hit a little wall because the film was shot with actors and the conventional way with crew, and anybody that follows me knows I do a lot of AI promo stuff online. It's helped to promote the movie, because if I was just sharing pictures from the actual set and stuff like that, I would burn out the whole movie. You would already have fucking seen the thing. That's the beauty of AI. You can do these little spin-offs and storytelling stuff and promo videos and artwork, etc. So that's really, really helped. But I think this is when AI works best. I know that a lot of people don't like AI and some people do, and I don't give a fuck who likes it and who doesn't. It doesn't make any fucking difference to me. It's a tool, and use it as a tool, where you can, in a micro budget, if you can make your palette bigger. But it works really well, I think, if you use it when you've already shot the movie. And you're adding it to enhance things, and that's when I'll always shoot with actors. I'm not really keen to shoot 100% AI movie. I've made 8 feature films the conventional way, and I want to continue that way. So, but it really does help budget-wise for different shots that you never got and all sorts of stuff, and especially action stuff. There's a scene in this in the pole dancing club, and there's a shootout scene with the dolls, and if I was to do that with CGI, it would cost me a lot more, and other people to help me with it would cost me a lot more for money that I don't have, and it would take more fucking time and more years, and then it's like, life is short, do you know what I mean? I keep saying it, if you can blow up a car with, AI that costs you 20 quid, but you're going to, it cost you a lot more, then it's like, it's a no fucking brainer for me. So, but the cost of AI has went up in the last few months, couple of months. It has really went up in cost for some of the high end platforms, which is fine. I expected that because it's only like 8 months ago, back in October, that when I shot that most of this video, the way it's advanced, wasn't even fucking there. I didn't even know I could do some of the shots when I was shooting the stuff that's available now, which is insane. So in such a short time. So of course the price is going to go up, which is not a bad thing, because if it was so cheap everybody that is not really serious about making movies and making stories would just be playing about with AI and just more fucking shite out there. If you're really serious about it and you're a filmmaker, or if you're serious about telling stories visually, then you're willing to pay the extra cost. It's still much cheaper. The stuff that's in the club would cost me 20 times more than it's costing me, but it's costs that have increased. So, you know, um, it's not, I'm not going to go to other Kickstarter campaigns. I won't do another Kickstarter campaign until I finish this movie, until I've delivered everybody their merch for the movie, and that is all clear. If I've got everybody clear, then I'll consider another campaign. But I'm not going to do it to finish the film, so it's just taking longer. So I was hoping to finish it by next month. I don't have a date, because I've got some money coming ahead from work, etc. But I don't have a solid date. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get a screening, because there's a lot of people kind of involved with this film. So if you get a screening and you push that screening on the one night, a lot of people share on social media. And I've got other marketing plans as well. It can be great for a launch for this film and for the sequel film as well, the third film, which is set in London. Some of it will be shot in Scotland, but it'll be set in London as well, and it'll be shot in London as well. So, but what I also want to do, not just with the dolls, but with Psycho-Sex dolls, to counterbalance all this AI stuff in the world, I think it's really important to get out there and do, no big theatrical screenings in a micro budget movie, but small screenings like 100-seaters, 50-seaters, pop-up screenings, even some screenings down the country, and do stuff like that with Psycho-Sex dolls, even though it was released last year, but most people have not seen it, and the dolls, and get people to come along, get some of the cast to come along, engage with people that support the film, etc., because going out there, creating content when you get on the road like that helps to promote the movie and promote it online. I want to do that. I want it to be more sort of event-based. I want it to be more little micro screenings based. I saw an article a couple of weeks ago that small indie cinemas and small screenings are becoming popular again, and I totally believe that, because people want to be out more. They don't just want to fucking live online. So that's going to be part of this as well. So, but at the stage, it's a little bit of limbo stage at the moment. I've never stopped, because I'm writing the novel as well, but until I can save up the rest of the money to finish the film and the IFX shots, I've went all through the film. I've done drafts of it. I've got one more day to shoot as well, but that's not a big, massive problem. So yeah, definitely before the end of this year. It's taking longer, but I think when I can get this film out there and hopefully raise the money for the third film, and that'll keep the ball rolling and build. And if I don't raise the money for the third film, then what I'll be doing is I'll be taking a 6 months sort of break, not a break, but and that's when I'll release the novel. I'll be promoting the hell out of the first two movies, maybe do little screenings all over the place, see if I built a bigger audience, and then try and get the third film made again. I've always said it. This movie was started off from posters, from AI posters, and I always thought if I can get the movie made from a poster, the first movie, then I'll get the second movie made, because I've got I've got the first movie made, and if I've got 1, 2, I'll definitely get the fucking third one, so I'm confident of keeping the whole franchise and building it and growing it. But you get little stages where it just it takes a bit longer than normal, because you don't have money to throw at the problem, and so yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I will definitely get out there, but it's kind of frustrating, because I'm a person that likes to move fast and really move fast with things. I'm not moving slow because it's a creative and perfectionist and all that shit. It's just because of money. It's a lack of money, and I've had some investors interested. But the reason I don't leap at all, I've got some micro investors and they're great, but the reason I don't leap at all in investment interests is for one simple reason. It's really, really important when you're building a franchise, when you're building an IP. You're not just making a movie. I'm making, it's the whole intellectual property. It's like a mini Marvel that I'm doing, a micro budget sort of mini Marvel, where there's a bunch of movies, there's spin-offs, there's a whole lot of merch, there's going to be trading cards, there's novels, etc. So when you're taking money from investors, you want to get the right people. I've had some interest for large amounts of money, but then I'm not going to be working for somebody for the next, or potentially for the rest of my life involved with it in some way, and they get a big chunk of it. No fucking way. It's so important to hold on to your rights and to hold on to your intellectual property, your IP. I think the latest Terrifier movies, the guy that made those, as far as I knew, that he owned the rights to them, and they've been incredibly successful. But then I just saw something in the press. There's a court case because it seems like he doesn't own the rights, that he sold some of the rights away at the very start, whether it's true or whether it's not, whatever the court case. So that's so important. So for me, that's why it's important that, okay, it'll take me longer to use my own money, because so that I don't have to go to investors that I really don't want to give a big chunk of my franchise away for small amounts of money. It's different if I'm at the idea stage and I've no fucking money and somebody says, but even at that, I had no, I got investment interest for the very first film and I turned it down, because I'd be working for somebody and I would own nothing. So, doing it my way like this, even though it takes longer, means that I own the whole thing, and any micro investors I've got benefit from that as well. And I can do what I want. I can cast who I want. I can put the trailers out that I want. I can put the posters out that I can want. I can do the merch. I can do the sequels. I can cast who I want in the fucking sequels. If you take money for a production company and big investors, you don't have that control. So that's why it's taking me longer, because I'm holding on to the control. I'm not running away and trying to solve the problem quickly by taking money from somebody that's going to ask a lot of control and a lot of controlling creatively and controlling the business stuff. So that's why it's taking a bit longer. And look, I'm pushing the shop to sell some merch, and some people have been great. I've been buying some merch, and that goes towards the AI finishing. It's when you do the AI stuff, it's basically some platforms and you buy credits, and the more credits that you can buy, the kind of more cost effective it is. So I'm saving up for a whole big package that I need for mainly the end scenes, over the next few weeks. So that's where I'm at with it. But getting there, if anybody's interested, go to the website, buy a t-shirt, buy a mug, buy a pop art poster. It all helps. It really does help. Anybody's interested in some investment. I don't take everybody. Anybody's interested, but what I do is I show people a little pitch video, and I've got a little sort of summary of the whole thing, and I'm working out big contracts as well, that where people invest in this franchise, they don't invest in one film, they're going to be getting a cut of the whole franchise. Because for me, investing in a film, it's not really an investment. Film is a very risky business, but I'm not creating one film, I'm creating a creative business. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody that supported it. It'll be out soon. But one last thing as well, I've not got any rush to release the film. I'm not really in a rush to release it. So even when I finish it, and it's finished in a few weeks or a couple of months' time, I'm not going to be saying it's going to be on Amazon Prime or whatever. It just isn't. I'm in no rush to do that. Everybody that's supported it, everybody's backed it through the website, Kickstarter backers, cast, crew, are all going to get to see it. And anybody that buys anything from the website at the moment, they'll be on the list to see it as well. So, but the reason I'm not going to release it is because even when I'm trying to get the third film made, I'm going to be doing some sort of pop-up screenings, and I don't want to release it online and streaming it until they're done. I want to maximise, especially if I have to raise the money for the third film, because that'll help to do that. So if anybody wants to see it, anybody that buys from the website will get to see it in a stream before its official release. But or in a Kickstarter campaign for the third film, that's where people get the opportunity to see it. But I'm not in a rush to get it on streaming, because I have to maximise as much attention as possible to keep this whole thing rolling. But for the cast, crew, supporters, we'll definitely get to see it as soon as possible. Definitely before the end of the year. I was hoping that it could have been next month, but we'll see how it goes, Anyway, thanks for watching.